This higgledy-piggledy house, the one we've started to make our home, despite knowing it's not one that we'll ever own. Because a home is more than a name to a deed, it's seeds that are sown. Handprints in the hall, where you took your first steps, drank the last drops of milk that lay in my breasts. Your mess beside mine, it's our compromise, a place where two worlds meet, a life that we're living, you under my feet. It's walls painted badly in the middle of the night while you sleep. It's stories read out loud, and floorboards I try not to creak. It's you besides me, in this home where we sleep.
Well, I was born in Santiago, the main capital city of Chile. There were four of us at the time. There were my aunties, there were two aunties, my grandmother, my parents as well, in a two-room flat with a tiny little kitchen. Only one person could go in the kitchen, and my grandmother was the queen of the kitchen because she spent all the time there. Then, when I was about 5, my father managed to buy his own house because it was a new housing state. There were no school, so they arranged to make the national stadium, the biggest stadium in Chile, which held about 70,000 people, okay, into school. So you had all these changing rooms, and those were a classroom. Okay, I'm mentioning that because those were the same thing that they were used when the people were in concentration camp in there. Anyway, we had a happy life in that new state. My brothers, they started doing the campaign in 1970 for the 1970 election for the President Salvador Allende, and that's when they started going painting on the wall, propaganda, graffitis, all this, and it was kind of fun. It was because one night we used to paint the wall, and then the next night the other parties will come and paint the wall again. So it was a kind of a game to me because I was only, 10, 11 at the time. For 3 years that the government lasted, we saw quite a different atmosphere. We saw how the military all of a sudden started appearing in the streets. The government wasn't prepared for anything bigger than that. Okay, and all of a sudden, the military took over. People there, they were being killed and massacred, and um, it was sad because it is something that you do to your own people. How can you kill your own people?
To me, being a Brummy, the old Brummy, is fantastic. I was born in 1932, 17th of March 1932, and I lived in a little back house. It was like in a complex. We had one of the first houses in Kingstanding, which was one of Atcham Road. I lived there for 44 years in the same house. To go down Finchley Road Park, it's off the King's Road anyway, and it goes right across to College Road. It's, we used to play football down there, and they got a little paddling pool and everything. And they used to do swimming in the summer because it was boiling off. It's very, very, very good down there. I remember the old days. That was the good old days. You can get them today.
I'm glad I didn't know it was the last time, 'cause I don't think I could have said goodbye. And it's sad that I don't remember what was said, but in some ways I guess that means you could only have been kind. And I won't forget the sense of dread or emptiness that I felt when I found out you were gone. Now there's a hole in my soul I carry everywhere I go. Can't be filled by no one. 'Cause sure enough, it was pure love. Yeah, it always was. No ifs, no buts. I never said it enough. Now you're gone, but I'm forever touched by your pure love.
On the radio they say, oh, we are going to have this military curfew times. On the first day, nobody was allowed to be in the street after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Everybody had to be in their homes, otherwise they'll be killed or imprisoned. The next day, my uncle, I remember, he woke up and said, well, I have to go to work. You know, I work for a living, so he went. And he was captured at work. My other uncle, who lived in another city, he also was taken to the jail of the town where he lived. My other uncle, he was captured as well. So two of them, they ended up in the National Stadium, the same place where I used to go on my first year, where I lived in that state for school. The worst thing was that having to queue to go and get bread and milk and all that, and they gave you a time, 7 in the morning to 7 in the afternoon, that was it. Any time after that, they would shoot you without asking anything. That was it. And you saw all these bodies of people that had been killed on the streets. Because we live just by the stadium. And you saw people dead with, they were tied and massacred and without face. You know. It was horrible. 5 years after that, I traveled with my family, I traveled with my wife, and my daughter, and we left everything. You know, we didn't have anything except what we had with us. No money, nothing at all. So they put us into a hostel in London. The hostel was full of refugees, and they all were there for the same reason. They've been persecuted. One of the things that I did learn in the 2 months that we were there was that it was very hard to be a refugee, because at least in Chile I knew what I was doing. I knew exactly what was my role. But once I got to London, I didn't know what my role was. We came legally to this country. We obeyed the law of this country, and we even became citizens on this country. You know, we're British. I got my Chilean conviction because I was Chilean. I was born there. Okay, so I got that sense of sentimentality about being Chilean. And but because we've been in the country for 43 years now. So when people, think, oh, you're an immigrant, I say, hold on, how old are you? What right have you got to tell me that this is not my country when I live longer than you in this country? I have paid my taxes and I have paid all the national insurance. I have, follow all the rules. I am British.
It's people, it's places, it's permanent, it's temporary, it's physical, it's memory, it's present, it's hope, it's absence. It's never the same thing to any two people. Whether for a minute or a lifetime, it's the feeling that you truly belong.